Hey guys! No skip this time, folks. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna jump right into the review.
What? But you can't do this to me.
Alrighty, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and today I'm going to be giving you my review of Shazam, Fury of the Gods. But before I get started, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a new review. Now let's get into it. Shazam 2 takes place a bit after the first one, where Asher Angel's Billy, as Zachary Levi's Shazam,
Wait a minute!
shared his powers with the rest of his new foster family.
Where's everyone going?
To fight crime?
Okay.
They are now a superhero team with Billy at the lead, but everyone is kind of doing their own thing while Billy's really struggling and trying to keep them all together. That's when the Daughters of Atlas, played by Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, and Rachel Ziegler, show up to reclaim their godlike powers from the team and bring their realm to Earth, like the total day-ruining Karens that they are. There is really a blessing and a curse to the way that I review movies. I typically see most movies that I want to see within a week or so of release, and I try to do my review within a few days of seeing it. I don't have the connections yet to see movies early, unfortunately, so I really have to get this done as quickly as I can, on top of, juggling my career, my marriage, trying to keep my house in order, taking care of my pets.
I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe.
Sometimes this really sucks because I completely missed the hype train, and by the time I get my video done and post it, no one gives a shit about the movie anymore. But sometimes this gives me more of a chance to really reflect on the movie and my thoughts on it, put more effort into my script, and even see how a movie is getting responded to and how it's doing at the box office, so I can maybe work some of that information into my review. The latter is definitely the case with Shazam 2. Since this movie has been released, everything that you've seen in the news about it has been the fact that it's a total flop, and we've got to bask in a little bit of petty behind-the-scenes drama, while Zachary Levi struggles as hard as he can to keep his role in James Gunn's new DCU.
Well, what are you waiting for? Can't you see I don't watch anymore? Let's get out of here, you stupid, dumb animal!
So putting all of that crap aside and just focusing on the film itself, which is what the review is for, I can confidently say that if you enjoyed the first Shazam, you're gonna enjoy this one too. This is a bright, fun, and occasionally silly superhero movie that does its best to bring in some emotion and heart without sacrificing everything that we know and love from the first one, even if the plot and writing get a little messy at times. Okay, they actually get very messy at times, but I'll get to that later. Cool? Cool. Alright, let's get this shit started.
Let's get this party started right!
Billy Batson is just a great lead character for this movie, no matter if it's Asher Angel's actual teenage Billy or if it's Zachary Levi's Shazam. As a teen, Asher Angel was just as good as he was in the last movie, playing Billy in the first movie with all of the vulnerability and aloofness of a kid that's been put through the ringer with the foster system, completely abandoned by his mother. And one of the best parts of that movie was his character growing through all of that, becoming a legit responsible hero, and solidifying his place in his new family. And the scenes involving him searching for his mother and where that plot ends up is just heartbreaking and adds so much emotion to that movie. Now, Zachary Levi has a much bigger role in this one than the last one, so unfortunately Asher Angel doesn't get that much time as Billy, but whenever he does appear on screen, you can really tell how much his acting has improved in the last few years. And he does get a couple of emotional beats here and there that work very well for the story, especially when confronting his fear in his main arc of the film, losing his family like he has done before. And just like the last one, him and Jack Dylan Grazer's Freddy are so natural and believable best friends.
Let's show the guys our new secret best friends handshake!
Even if they don't have that much time together in this one. And then when that magical word is said and Billy is transformed to Shazam, Zachary Levi dives headfirst into this goofy teenage role, just like he did last time, letting that silly, kind of cocky persona come in with some chuckle-worthy one-liners and some pretty funny physical comedy, while playing very well off the rest of the superhero team. I know I already mentioned it, but I really do love the direction that his character arc went here. Yeah, it's not the deepest motivation out there, and it's not even the deepest thing we've gotten out of the DCEU yet, honestly. He found a family that loves and appreciates him. He doesn't want to let them go, and him holding on as tight as he is and being kind of clingy while struggling to maintain his leadership over them because of how tight he's holding on really makes him feel all the more human and real, even if that plot point disappears for a long time in the second act.
Ta-da! It's gone.
The rest of the Shazam family are all great here as well. I already mentioned Jack Dylan Grazer's Freddy, and he has a surprisingly large supporting role here just like he did in the last one, doing his own thing, sparking up a romance with Rachel Ziegler's character, and even palling around with the wizard from the first movie, Djimon Hounsou, a weird pairing that surprisingly works and brings just that much more fun and humor into the movie.
You couldn't have done that earlier?
I hate you.
And when Freddy says Shazam and goes into a superhero role, Adam Brody is so charismatic and funny, with an overly cocky swagger that made me laugh out loud with his brief few appearances. Speaking of Jimon Hunsu, he has a much larger role in this film than the last one, and he is definitely one of the standouts.
Now go fight for your family.
The other member of the family with the most development is Grace Curry, who played Mary in the last movie but was replaced by Michelle Borth when she finally goes into her superhero form. Cool enough, Grace Curry actually gets to portray both versions of her character this time, which we can maybe thank Fall for since she got in such great shape for that god-awful movie.
That is one big pile of shit.
I gave her a little bit of flack in my review for that, calling her performance wooden, but I really think all of that had to do with the script and the direction because she's really great here, and she has great chemistry with the rest of the team. And the rest of the family is all great here as well, though they definitely suffer from side character syndrome, having subtle hints of development here and there and these very tiny subplots, or depending on the character, just no development whatsoever. But this is a big cast, and thankfully they all get to do something instead of just being sidelined like so many characters were in Ant-Man 3.
I'm not gonna be ignored, Dan.
Now onto the Daughters of Atlas, the villains of this movie, which also happen to be one of the weakest parts. Helen Mirren is such a great actress that she does fine in this role, but she's barely giving it any effort, and why should she? The writing for the villains is weird, convoluted, and cheesy as all hell, and Helen Mirren does make do no matter how weak the writing is. Lucy Liu, on the other hand, is just plain bad in this, unfortunately.
I mean, I love it. For you, it sucks.
I'm not sure if it's just the half-assed, cheesy villain dialogue that fits just as well coming out of Malekith's mouth in Thor the Dark World as it does coming out of Lucy Liu's mouth here, but this over-the-top and corny performance from her paired with that dialogue really just made her character laughable and not believable at all as a real villain. I was honestly laughing at her dialogue by the end of the movie. The strongest one out of those three is Rachel Zegler, and that's not even really thanks to her character and motivation, it's all thanks to her chemistry with Freddy. These two talk and flirt like real teenagers and have real palpable chemistry, and I really enjoyed that part of the movie. What? It's nice to see the bullied handicapped kid get some for once. Fist bump! No?
I am not lowering this until someone gives me the respect of another person's knuckles tapping against mine in a light but decisive manner.
But when she has to monologue and participate in these big dramatic scenes with her sisters where they talk about their plans and threaten the heroes, oh man, it doesn't work, and it's just as cheesy as it was with Lucy Liu.
He starts monologuing.
So with all of the characters in this film, Asher Angel's Billy, Jack Dylan Grazer's Freddy, Grace Curry's Mary, and Rachel Zegler's character, I don't remember her name, sorry, are definitely the best of the film, while everyone else is good, but really has to fight with either bad writing or a lack of screen time. This kind of carries over to the story as well, which has to juggle like the family, teenage comedy side of things, the cliched and convoluted villain plot, and the themes that come with Billy's character arc, and sometimes it has a difficult time keeping all those balls in the air.
Can someone please throw me a fifth ball?
It suffers most in the second act as we bounce between all of our characters, get a ton of exposition, and dive into the villain's motivations. But that being said, I like this one a lot more than I didn't, and when it's emulating what worked so well in the first one, it really works just as well as it did in that movie. The colorful action sequences and costumes, the chemistry between the leads, the surprisingly effective CGI, which in this and in the first Shazam are leagues better than what's been put out by Marvel lately, and the sense of humor all work just as well, if not better, in this, and they go a long way to make up for the movie's shortcomings in the villain and story department. And I will give it a ton of props for that. Along with the fact that this is a superhero movie, a big budget superhero movie in 2023 from a major studio that has absolutely no political messaging in it whatsoever, which in 2023 is like finding a piece of hay in a needle stack.
Ouch.
But none of this fucking matters anyway.
Wait a second. None of it matters?
Yeah, Mike. None of it matters. As I mentioned in the beginning of this review, this film has been a total flop at the box office, as almost all of DC's movies since Aquaman have been in their eyes, and it has had one of the biggest second week drops that DC has seen ever. And with James Gunn's new DC universe coming, I seriously doubt we're going to see more from this character or this team in the new universe, which is very unfortunate. So, yeah. Rip Shazam. It really feels like they just shot themselves in the foot.
3! Oh, damn it! Oh my god, that hurts! I think you missed me.
But for what it is, Shazam! Fury of the Gods is a light superhero movie that offers just over 2 hours of pure escapism, colorful, fun visuals and action sequences, likable characters, and enough of a heart to make up for the movie's shortcomings, which come in with the story, the villains, and some of the writing involving those two things. And that's my review of Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this review, you know exactly what to do. I said it in the beginning. Please hit that thumbs up button, leave me a like. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and getting my stuff out to a bigger audience. And while you're at it, you can leave a comment if you want. Let me know what you thought of Shazam or what you thought of my review, or if you think we'll see Shazam in the new DCU, whether he's Zachary Levi or somebody else. And lastly, you can subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss another review. While you're at it, you can click or tap on these cards here. They'll take you to my review of Scream 6 or just over to my channel where you can find my reviews, my shorts, and my old shit. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time for my review of... What am I reviewing next? It's either going to be Dungeons & Dragons or John Wick 4. Keep an eye out.